Alrighty, so this is going to be a brief little video to show how you assemble a 3 dual cube figure. And it'll sort of show you the underlying anatomy of some of the larger figures as well. So, basically, you're going to want to, this unit is only going, or this form is only going to use 21 total Sonobe units. However, for easier assembly, I personally find it significantly easier to create 3 dual cubes and then remove 6 of the units from the ends. That'll make sense as you're going through the video, but I think that makes it significantly easier to do. Your miles may vary. I also sort of do recommend using a tape, a simple not super adhesive tape. Masking tape will work. This is some washi tape here. And this will just make your assembly a little bit easier, especially if you're like me and you decided to use really slippery paper like this nice glossy paper that I have, which looks gorgeous but is a real, how to say it, it's really difficult to work with for these figures. So what you're going to start by doing, I'd recommend, is you take 2 of your 3 dual cubes, get a little bit of tape. You're going to tape them like this, so you're forming a little triangle here, and these are starting to come inwards towards the center. Put a piece of tape there, make sure it's actually adhering. My fingers have like clay residue on them from something earlier, so stuff is not working super great for me, but it's all good. You're just gonna make sure that those are adhered. So that's gonna those are gonna connect like that. You're gonna take your third one and you can kind of see how this is gonna slot in here. And again, so since you have it like this, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna attach this unit on here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna open up this end of this unit. So we're gonna pull these flaps out. And we're going to lift that unit out nice and easy. And then you're going to, again, because you're going to attach it here, you're going to need to do the same thing on this unit here, this dual cube. So same deal. Pop your flaps open, lift that unit out. And then we are going to connect these together. These are all going to interlock in the same way that you would expect. Ooh, I've got a duplicate unit here. That's not ideal. I have some off screen. I'm just going to see. Yeah, it's going to start there. Okay, so I'm going to just swap this for a purple one. I do really recommend, if you're going to do any color swapping, anything like that, do that before you get to like the final stage of the ring. I've had it happen a couple of times. This is the time when you want to fix any color stuff that you don't like. I've had it happen a couple of times where I'm trying to fix it in like the final assembly, and the issue there is that that's kind of the time when your figure is at its most most unstable. So it's the most likely to slip and fall apart. So again, insert tab A into flat B. Go, please ignore my very crusty looking dried hands. I work in a winery, my hands get real chapped. There we go. Whoop. Alrighty, and again we've got a little escape guy, and we'll just stick that in there. So this is another step where I do recommend that washi tape. I would get a little bit of tape and secure here, and I would do the same on this side here. These are where the unit is under the most stress and strain, and this really helps as you're doing this assembly and you're manipulating the figure, kind of like making sure everything is connected properly. That's really going to help you not have your whole figure kind of come apart and not be constantly chasing down extra tabs. I'm going to set these guys here so I can reuse them. Again, we've got 2 of our additional units. It's going to bring our total down from 27 to 25. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to pop out some of our extra units, connect these sides in. So, and you can see how this guy really wants to come unconnected here. So it is just a touch fragile. So we're gonna be really gentle as we add this unit in. This is not quite as much of an issue when you're using slightly more matte paper. There's more friction between pieces on the surface, so the hold is a little bit better. It's a little bit more resistance. But if you're using glossy paper, this does become, does have to be something that you're thinking about. So, but you'll see, the assembly is not super difficult. It's not super technical or complicated. You're just going to slide these in, make sure everything gets manipulated nicely so all of your flaps are properly tucked in. And again, you'll see how this does want to come apart here. We are not going to let it though. So again, take your washi tape or your masking tape or whatever, or don't even bother. If you wanna, you know, free wing it, whatever. You can totally go for that. This is just something that makes your assembly a touch easier to do. This piece of tape is at its end of stickiness. We'll get another one. So I'm just gonna stick this again over this piece here. Keep as many of these tabs as I can from slipping out. And you'll see we have our figure is mostly done. We just need to connect these two here. So we're gonna very delicately, very gently slide these tabs right out of frame. Very delicately slide these tabs out like so. Again, you need to be very gentle when you're doing this. This figure is quite fragile at this stage. It's very, very easy for it to just kind of come apart, and you'll see again I have a color overlap that I'm not gonna super like. It's gonna be kind of a difficult one to swap. Alright, that's fine. I'll just hold this here. This is another reason that the tape is nice, because I can do these little substitutions pretty easily without having to worry that my whole piece is going to come apart in my hands, which, let me tell you, will happen sometimes. Alright, so then we've still got this guy, which I don't super like, interlocked. I'm just gonna edge that out. Pop this darker purple, this lighter kind of purple one in. Slide that in there. And there you go. Nobody's gonna know. Nobody is going to know. Alright. So now that you've got your little figure, just gonna connect this final side. So making sure that you're not trapping flaps inside, that's what is going to make it a little bit tricky. You want to make sure all of your flaps are on the outside, and then you can manipulate them a little bit better. And wow, I did not do a great job with this, with my colors this time. I'm kind of embarrassed. It's okay, not a big deal. Let's pop this guy out. Stick this guy in. Apparently I really wanted to use red and just like went ham on the red, and as a result ended up with a kind of a messed up looking unit, but that's all good. Alright, so we're just gonna stick that in there finally. So this is where it gets tricky. Again, make sure you're not trapping any flaps inside. That's very important. I'm just gonna, because they really do want to fold under, and you kind of have to constantly be fighting them to make sure that they are staying on the outside. It's gonna go here. This is gonna get inserted in here. And you can see why the tape is so useful at this point, because it really is what's keeping your other assembled figures together. So this And we've got one more to do. Right, so there you go. You can kind of shove everything together nicely. And then you can take your tape off. And I would still recommend being relatively gentle. And as you can see, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units that you pulled out from your original 27, leaving you with 21 units total. But, whoop, there we go. Whoop, nice. Don't mind me knocking my tripod over. And then, et voila, you've got your little form.